Get ready. It starts now. It's time for the Tight Radio Show. Solution-minded radio. Entertainment for your heart, mind, and soul. Positive talk for our community. With your hosts, Bertha Harris, Kim the Don, Naylon Butler, and Troy Rawlings. Let's go. It's the Tight Radio Show. Starting now. You're live.
Hey, this is Bertha with the Tight Radio Show. We're back on. We got a new and exciting show for you today. We're going to have our special guest talking about senior youth, Rev Willie Ray.
Yes.
Rev Willie Ray's been out there for a long, long time, guys. This is not just his one-time radio, as he tells me all the time, going around. So that's going to be our special guest. I got Kim the Don with me, my co-host. Hey, Kim, what's up?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Happy Saturday.
And then we got Raymond to jump on. He's out there selling those IBA cards. If you haven't heard about the IBA card, that's our Indigenous Business Association. If you download that card, because it's an app, you'll get connected to businesses, community, great people. You can even promote your event or your business also on that app. So we have a way at just a push of a button, we can start using technology to get us together. Our co-host, Troy Rawlings, he's a superstar, so he won't be with us today because he has the audition down there. He's in LA, so he's our West Coast connection. Some of you guys may have heard of Troy Rawlings. He used to be in Baltimore. He got a little fame, so he was down in California. They had a big shot. So he's down there doing what he does best, pursuing his dreams and his promotional opportunities. So, Ray, you on the line?
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Brother Willie Ray. How you doing?
Ray, I'm just going to let you jump in and get us started for a moment because I had problems with my computer, so I wasn't able to pull up the information. But go ahead and let our listening audience know what you got planned for them today and where you're going with the direction that's taking you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and honest to God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I want to thank my good sister Earth for her support. I was one of the youth and the community organizing the right to vote. But before I get started, I want to salute Dr. King first. Everybody say amen.
Amen.
And this birthday, we want to support it and honor his legacy as we prepare for the march. I believe it's on Monday. But I want to have a moment of silence and we have to stop the violence coalition movement. Let us honor silence in memory of our beloved Mogul, Reverend Dr. Martin. Okay. Thank you for that moment. I'm delighted to be your guest Saturday on the Tight Knit program. Mr. Ofer and I, we did our last major movement after after the Million Man March, we were with Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton, Young, and Michael Johnson, and Ricky Vaughn, and many others, Dr. Summers, and Dr. Marvin Cheatham. We were sort of the community organizers. The 57 year of Dr. Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech. We confronted a lot of doubt because of a lot of people. But we thank God for Reverend Al Sharpton, who woke us up on the day of George Floyd's homegoing ceremony, where he preached a very effective get your knee off of my neck. And he had the vision and the insight to about Dr. Martin Luther King III to say to Washington, about your daddy's dream vision speech on August 8th, and we're going to go under the banner along with the Black Lives Matter and the millennials. We're going to use 1 hour headlines, get your knee off my neck, and I can't breathe. Because the whole nation and the whole world remember George Floyd. Amen. Of course, many others, Wanda, Taylor, and Moore, and many others that we know we call it police brutality. But George Floyd kind of lived to get us hyped, white, blacks, young and old, was wearing Black Lives Matter T-shirts and banners. So we thank God for George Floyd. They salute him. They doing special programs on his death as well as his trial. So there is a rude awakening. And I personally celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday as well as his legacy, because that was the year 1968, April the 4th, when he went to be with God like Moses did. He was in transition. He didn't die. He went to be with God. Amen. And that's when I received my divine calling from God and through Jesus Christ to start to hit up a youth movement, because God spoke to me direct, not through a church, not through a preacher, but God directly did a divine intervention to call Willie Ray to the gospel ministry. He me, and I tried to talk him out at first. I said, look, you sure you got the right minister material? I'm a Don Juan. I don't know about the church like I used to know. But he said, you will know now. You take this assignment and attempt to save the next generation the mantle to carry on Dr. King's dream and his legacy. So 50 years later, here I am. But you know Dr. King's vision and his legacy. Can the church say amen?
Amen.
It would be a reckless, ideal, pie in the sky thought if I had not went to work after I got the call and Sister Erkin. I know we talked about it's a fine thing to hear a sermon, but it's a finer thing to see one. So I got busy opening up a safety house on Emerson, on Fremont, and South Dover Street at Mount Island Free Will Baptist Church. I ordered what they call a church house that the ministers live in, and I transformed that into the Redeemer's Palace. Some of y'all remember that in 1969 we election terrace community, and the home community. That's where the wine, the corner, all that stuff got started right there in that hood. That's where my ministry started. And the purpose. And Bishop Leo Casey's at that time was my pastor. He licensed me, baptized me, and he gave me, I cut my teeth with him at that safety house, that first one on Stafford and Fremont Avenue. is no longer there now. God has shut it down for whatever reason. But the church building is still there. The outreach center is still there. But nevertheless, from there I moved from Bishop Caesar Church to Dr. Harold Carter's church because he was sounding like Dr. King at the time. He was on the radio. So I said, well, maybe I'll go sit on his feet and learn more about Dr. King. And I did. And he told me he was an associate of Dr. King in Alabama. But he said that the ministry that I had was a social gospel ministry. He felt that I was at the wrong fellowship, that I needed to go in a church that teaches and preaches social gospel. And he recommended my good friend and mentor, Rev Willie Ray, amen, who was one of the key activists along with Dr. Marcus Wood and Marion Baskin and Wendell Phillips, Sidney Daniels, and he was the head of the Queen's Court, Sam Daniels, and Judge Howard. All those were learned intellectual men that were militant. They were organized. They had the only staff was the Grandmaster Sam Daniels, who was a Queen's Court. And that's where I was assistant to Reverend Thompson, where I was ordained, and also Bishop Winfield Showell. I used to go to Vernon Thompson every Saturday Sunday morning and swing Vernon Gifford is preaching black power and politics. I would go right across on South Carolina Street at the First Apostolic Church where Bishop Winfield Showell was the pastor, and he would teach his community. So I had Miami. Dr. Vernon Thompson and Bishop Winfield Showell I had the privilege of being sanctioned and ordained by both of them in the same year, 1976. And I haven't been the same since. I had a scholarship to go to seminary in New York, Young Life Seminary in New York, Lower Manhattan. And I went there to live for 2 years. And I finished seminary there. And then my professor, Dean Borman, I called him this morning. He's 90-some years old. And he recommended that I would go to school in Boston and Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my mentor and boss, Brother Dickie Burt, Alan Burt, who's the founder of Operation Champ. And he gave me my first youth job as a youth coordinator of the teen centers. I remember the teen centers. They had them all over the city, which is what I'm doing now. And me and Dexter Wise was out with young ministers at that time. That Dickie Burt was the founder of Operation Champion. And he changed the whole city. He was Humphrey vice president. He would come to salute his vision. And don't forget the kids. And he would bring, he would have portable and recreation to reach the city. He would bring his truck to neighborhoods and bring kids trampolines and ping pong. And that's when Tracy and the Spinners and the Falcons and the first class was, he would have a Mogul bill, and they would call it a showmobile. He had a portable showmobile where he would come to our neighborhoods and entertain us. And of course, the closest one that came to that was the Day of Hope. So I give you that history on me personally. So some of you don't know who I am. You really don't. You know, Rev Willie Ray, the real player, the ladies' man, the Don Juan. Man, that guy is dead. He died in 1968, right after Dr. King's transition. But you will hear more about that down the road. But I got busy trying to reach the youth on the corners. And that's where I started with the juvenile services with Arnold Hayes, who was my supervisor. And I was counseling and mentoring young kids who was in juvenile services. I'll give you that bit of history so you'll know where I'm taking you. But I've been busy in churches and in community, in model cities. in the fraternities and sororities. We got real started when the killing started in 1985, when Congressman Dan Mitchell started the Us Killing Us Equal Genocide movement, and I stayed with the Stop the Violence movement. And Congressman Byrne and I hit the streets. Whenever there was a murder or homicide or incident, we would go to that neighborhood, and I would have prayer and preach. And Prime Mitchell was Us Killing Us Equal Genocide. And he would educate us. He was a professor out at Morgan in the Department of Social Studies, Studies and History. And he taught us as a congressman that we are killing each other, and that's a plan of action of genocide. We a plan. It's a conspiracy for us to kill each other over drugs, over possessions, and then we would go to jail or die. And he was saying it was.
Let me intervene because like I told you, I don't want you to run out of time so we can stay focused on your objective. So like Ray said, he's been doing this for a lot of years, saving of youth. We have one faith, one church, one corner, one safety house, one community, and we have the multi-purpose community resource center being developed. So one of the reasons why we want to do the every third Saturday of the Tight Knit Radio Show is we want to change our conversation to solutions. So one of the main solutions that Rev Willie Ray has laid out to me and other people is the multi-purpose community resource development center that he is going to be able to renovate so we can have all of these outreach opportunities. So if you're an organization out there doing anything for the youth, because we know we're not reinventing the wheel, but just stretching the wheel. So you have an organization out there that's doing things for you. We want you to make sure that we can contact Willie Ray and be able to be a part of this.
I've been known, used to be known in my ministry as Brother Ray or Reverend Ray. I'm not Bruce with me, but I know Ray Ray is D. Is he Reverend Ray or Brother Ray? And back to your one church, one corner is a vision that God gave me with Black Dr. Wood was living. And then Prime Mitchell and I was I for Reverend Ray. That I felt that the churches, who is the main institution in the Black community, is as the pillar. So I called meetings with Reverend Brenner Thompson and Reverend Wood, Reverend Bascom, and Reverend Wendell Phillips, the old Goon Squad members. And this year was 1997, March the 27th, when we went on the corner of Lafayette and Pennsylvania Avenue with old Billy Holiday statue is at, as well as the old used to be Royal Theater. We did an outside right on that corner of Lafayette in Pennsylvania with Reverend Woods. God bless him. He was 99 years old when he passed away last year. But he gave the call to all the ministers to that one corner and Jewish, Muslim, and adopt a corner and open up a safety house. And that's when the mission.
So what I'm saying to you, we're saying that because we don't know who's listening, but our listeners, you're asking if anybody falls in those categories, those are saying what you're doing today, right? So you're still calling on the churches. So like you said, you want churches involved, you want youth organizations involved, but the main purpose of the Saturday call is for people to bring their resources. They don't always have to be dollars. It could be talent. It could be, we have a monthly Zoom call for the purpose of this, develop the multi-purpose community center. And
let me say this to you. Yeah, I do. Woods and Byron Dobson. This is not an overnight idea. It is an idea whose time has come. And because this is one of my real first times of getting out the word, people don't know about the mission. And you can't support something that you don't know about. You can't support anything or shouldn't support anything that don't have a track record or a history. But most people know me as the poor, lone, suffering servant, that doing prayer vigils, not being recognized by the powers to be. Radio, you don't have a church. All these are the stigmas that I had to endure for the last 40 years. And now it's coming to full square with people who want to hear from me as I call my supporters to let them know that I'll be on the radio today, letting the cat out the bag. So now we did that homework. We got Coppin Heights Community University behind us. We have the Roosevelt Community Interfaith Coalition. We have the ARTO organization. The reason why either organization is located where the first safety house or the second safety house was started at 2850 Allen Avenue. So we just moved 2 months ago. Some of you might remember the old house wall bakery. Been vacant for years. I made a contract with the Koreans who owned the facility, who knew about my ministry and wanted to support. And so they opened up the doors. Of course, there's a fee, but they still are volunteering to work with me because they want to be a part of the black community in that neighborhood. So I'm on the second floor of the old house wall bakery. We already have a contractor, Brother Elder Green, who might be calling in along with Rev Howard, Victor Clark. We're in the process of renovating that building to a multi-purpose youth development center. We will have activities such as STEM and computer literacy, education and GED preparation, job training and career development, health and mental health and alcohol and drug counseling, as I said, job and economic development, and housing and homeless. These are just a few programs that we plan on implementing at 2822 Emerson Avenue. We are open. We have not purposely opened up for soliciting support financially from anybody until we, the committee to Save Another Youth Board of Directors, have come together and organized a proposal for these activities as well as for renovation. Now is the time to make appeal. We do have a 501c3, have been for years, 40 years, and we also have a new funding called the GoFundMe account. And just yesterday, Reverend Howard and I talked to the Monique Brown, who represents the Commissioner Harris, who just embraced us as a partner. Not that we not have partnership with branding and all other mayors, well, all the mayors that was been in that seat. We worked directly with them and even to the governor. But we have been the independent faith ministry. I work directly with the Mars, Brother Carlos Mohammed, Brother Earl Alameen, Brother Rahim, Brother Bilal Ali, Brother Nadir. We are not limited to the church. I also have Jewish rabbis that are part of this vision. But now I'm bringing it to the soul, to the community, so you can be back into this and be a part of it. I just talked to Ricky Vaughn. This is not another moment. This is a movement that has been in process since Dr. King's death. Now it's coming to full fruition.
You have another call on the line, Willie Ray.
Yes, Reverend Howard. Yes, when I pastor and vice chairman of Family Youth. Thank you, Pastor. Yes, just wanted to come on just to let us know how the work that we're doing with Saving of the Youth and the faith community together, joining hands with all the various ministries, the various churches and faith organizations have joined in an attempt to deal with this problem of youth violence, and not just from an intervention standpoint, but also how can we provide programmatic activities to begin to lift them and raise them so that they can have opportunity. Because right now, the opportunities that are available to them seem to be very sparse and not sufficient for them to become the young men and women that our community needs for them to be. So, children of the youth and the centers that we are putting together, the multi-purpose community resource development center, are designed for that purpose to allow it place. And we want this to occur not just there at Emerson Avenue and Papa Rosemont area, but we want congregations, churches to begin to put safety houses, places in their neighborhood, so that youth right around their doors, our doors, can find supporting help.
And I'm glad you came on, Reverend Howard, because just as you heard that Bill Goodman mentioned, is that a lot of times our community is wondering where the churches are and what positions they're playing. So the goal of Tight Radio Show is to bring people like you and the voices like you back into the community, because in order to answer that question, we have to be connected to someone that's connected to a church. And sometimes we don't always see everything or know everything, and a lot of churches are doing a lot of great things out here. And with the program that Willie Ray is putting together, along with the networks that's already out there, like Bill said, we will get one church on every corner to participate. It's just that, like you said, things are processed, and we do have the right players in position.
Yeah, let me just also say that the faith community, the church community, has really never left the neighborhoods. The churches are there. Part of what has occurred over the years is that because as the membership grew in age, many of the younger folk, professional people, ended up going and joining other organizations and participating in them and providing their services and skill sets to other organizations outside the church. So the church was left to work with what it had in its immediate ability. People think that the church has all this money and has all this resources and things of that nature, but that really is not the case. A lot of those resources and a lot of those expertise are being utilized in other organizations now that they have come online. What the church community is saying in terms of working in partnership with other organizations to do that is that we have space, we have opportunity, we have the ability to partner with you to be able to work together to do this, because as Rev Ray oftentimes says, this is about the whole person. This is about meeting an individual's not only their academic and their professional skill set levels, but their spiritual needs also. That's the role of the church, to provide that. And so rather than pointing fingers at one another, we have to figure out how we can pool these resources together, because the church is still a very good asset to our community. And we need folk to come back and to bring those skill sets to the faith community, to the churches, so that we can do the things that all of us want to have done for our community.
Right now, even as an organization, I never even thought of that. So that's one thing I'm glad we communicate, because you said that the organization should network with the churches. So I never really thought about this myself, but I will put that on my agenda to do, because you're right. If we're still out there doing the work, but we also can partnership with churches and be able to connect that vision together.
Can you have one more person in the line? And
Okay.
Since you just mentioned that, the black man, the African American man, along with my good friend Dr. Andre Belly and Knox, Andre Knox, and even Reverend Howard and Reverend Dr. Earl Carter Jr., they got started with marching, not to mention, of course, as I stated earlier in my remarks, the Million Man March brothers as well. But I'm the initiative with the African American men that streets, and they came by the hundreds, and I was a part of that initiation when they got started, along with Minister Doug Wilson and Kingdom Light. But I was instrumental in getting Dr. Belly and Andrew Knox come to New Shiloh to speak to the largest ministers group in the city. So Bishop James Carter is the president, and Dr. Steve Mason is a member. But they meet at New Shiloh. That's our headquarters for the ministers' meeting. And Dr. Bradley and Andre came and speak. And got a chance to know them, and I convinced Dr. Bradley to network with us. Like in the beginning, it was a little turned off because members have a different agenda. They got to bury the sick, they got the old, and they got the business. Birthday, they get weddings. They don't have the same agenda. Outreach is a total different animal to them. And I explained that to Brother Butler, and he understood it because he coming from a veteran, and he knew a little bit about church relationships. But anyway, we got started. They agreed that they would partner with churches. So now they partner with churches. Bishop Stokes, they went to Bishop Reginald Kennedy up in Copper Grove, and the ministers up in Park Heights. They marched with Dr. Cleve Mason. So that is, even as I speak, I left a call to Dr. Bradley and Andrew Knox that I would be on your show that they heard it. And we wanted also to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King's march on Monday, because last year we marched together. We had 1,000 men that came out, and I wanted to get the information about the directions of what they were going to be marching and lining up, because we want the Million Man March to be a part of the Martin Luther King, even though all of us will celebrate Dr. King's dream and his legacy in our own way. But I want to say that in regards to what Pastor Howard said, yes, I've been quietly networking with the IFA, with the Ministers' Conference, but keep in mind, that's not my call to pastor in that traditional sense. But I've been active ever since Dr. King transitioned to pastor the community and the boys in the hood. And while I'm on that note, I was just looking at on cable the New Jack City, and that was done in 1989. Damn, Baltimore is not almost New Jack City, where we kill each other on drug turf, the wars, and of course, I might as well say it would happen last Wednesday, January the 6th, do not help, because these are law and order persons who are sort of in a semi-civil war between parties, Democrats and Republicans. So we, the black community, as Black Lives Matter, remind us, as I talked to Ricky Vaughn, to say we have to have our own agenda. We have to set the path for our youth. We can't look for outside help, as Farrakhan says in the Million Man March. Anybody can help us but us. So that's why Reverend Howard and the Ministers' Conference are teaming up, as we just did with Donald Mo Brown, for this safety house that's being developed as we speak, the Old Oswald Bakery, to bring about multi-purpose services, mainly, as I said to Sister Erica, for the youth. And my theme is, what are we doing today to help stop violence and gangs in our community? We can't do everything.
Let's go to our next caller and see if this is someone else, because I want to make sure I get your caller in. Caller, you on the line?
Hello?
Yeah, the question or comment?
Hello?
Yeah.
This is Dr. Butler. Rev, how you doing? Rev Willie, how are you doing? Good to hear from you, Doctor. Well, good to be here. I was trying to get you on my show and get to your show, and finally, I guess I got around to it. But this is one of the shows that I definitely wanted to be on, so I could set some of the records clear and people know I'm back in town. And you are definitely a person that I want to talk to. Willie's been Rev Ray. He was our corner minister back in the day. And fortunately, so folks can know, I'm not going to go into it because I had to take a whole show, and Willie probably knows that. But I was actually active a couple years before, really. I was the official person that did the training for all of the 6 model cities counties, and as he mentioned, we trained to divert people there at Cleve Bristol, and they got all those things, by the way, folks. They came to the Champ Center, and we were paid to help those organizations. They put the first ring here for Leonard. and boxing ring right out there in the park, right here where Willie put his church up. And Willie was the minister for all the model city groups, and I was the economic development person. And even teams, through Willie's kind of persistence going after teams, it was not called AFRAM, it was called Model Cities, came out of Model Cities Council E. Irving Conway, the brother to Tim Conway, who was in Model Cities Council F. The statue that they talked about, even shake and bake on the avenue, all was done through the team effort. And that was really the Model Cities Council, the team centers, and the Cultural Arts Center. That goes back to 1965. And after those things, nobody looked at it until my son. I left it in frustration, and I'm not going to go into all that story because, as you said, it's more important to know about pollution. And back during that time, yeah.
Well, I'm
Mr. Butler, how can you support saving those youth doing that one faith, one church? That's why I gave you the package at the network meeting. Yeah, and we understand that. We can help everybody because what we do is fundraising. Since I left Baltimore, that's all we do. We have groups. We have our own youth groups, and of course we support IVA. And what we bring to the table, which a lot of people wait a long time and they don't benefit from it, is the ability to raise funds. We have a solution that IVA is working with us now, and we are solution oriented. I just wanted to put that little quick patch out there because it takes a whole hour for us to explain what we do. But we are definitely partnered with IVA, and we do solutions. We're the ones that do all the Harlem Globetrotter games. We're the ones that take thousands of kids every year to see the Harlem Wizards, and we involve the community, we involve the teachers, and those are all fundraisers. So when groups out here saying they're looking for fundraisers, I'm saying why would they keep looking if they know that that's what we can help them do? So thank you, sir. I just want to cut you out because I'm on a time tag, but I just want to bring you on that the community knows that you're behind us, and Dr. Howard knows behind us, and we will continue to work together. Thank you for being on that Zoom call. So I'm going to keep it moving because we're running out of time, and I just want to make sure. Thank you, Doc.
any other callers on the line, sir?
No, we have. Okay, well, Victor Clark, who is my treasurer, he's supposed to be calling in. I don't know whether I got left a message. But I just wanted to kind of conclude out that this is a movement, and we're taking our time. We're recruiting certain people. It's not for everybody. It's for certain people who gets division fever for youth, and therefore we have many programs. And let me end on this. That they are not to say that we're the only game in town. There are other programs like the youth program, the Safe Streets program. We even have the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club. As I said, we have the Million Man March and also African American men. But again, we are divided. We need a central location. As I heard one of the brothers from the African American male movement stated on the Gary Young show the other day. He says, look, we out here by the hundreds, and the kids are on the corner, idle, nowhere to go, nothing to do. And that's when I called Zero in and let Larry Young and Michael Johnson know that the one faith, one church, one corner is one of the solutions to give these brothers that are recruiting these young men. They need a place to go. They need a haven that they call their own. I mentioned that to Dr. Earl Carter Jr. at Dew Shallows, one of the biggest churches in the city. He has a vacant house right across the street from the church. Thank God he is open. I said to him, we need to open up that safety house for the kids who don't come into church.
But also you're asking, just like you said, because we have already existing organization. If you have an existing organization that's doing anything good for the youth, we're partnering with you because, like you said, there's not enough of us. So what the multi-purpose center will also offer, you can have your youth center on the east side and one on the west side. You can have one on the west side and continue to partner with us at the multi-purpose building. And what that will do is that will make us create a movement. So with the things that Willie Ray is mentioning, all of the Boys and Girls Club,
Amen.
the other programs and such, when we connect, then we will have a movement in Baltimore City. And that's what Baltimore City is really missing, because we have so many people out there doing good things. But in order to be effective, the masses of the people, we're looking for a movement. So like you said, Willie Ray, make sure you didn't give people your contact information so people can contact you to follow up from the...
Okay, thank you. For those of you, and keep this in mind, not to be insensitive, but we've been around for 45 years. We've been demonstrating visuals, walks, but now we're doing something programmatic: computer literacy, job and education, housing, alcohol and drug counseling. And as Urchin said, I've done my homework, and I've been involved with most of the leaders of the beautiful struggle. Black Lives Matter. But there's a need for a central location that's independent, that has their own agenda, so it won't be sabotaged, as Prime Minister said, so it be conflicted. We're begging and pleading for unity. This is what our young people in the hood are saying. The New Jack, the City Boys, they want to see a location where they come play some ping pong and play computers and shoot some pool and learn. And then most of us learn about God. I'll take that note.
So give them your contact information, because like you said, you need to make sure that people can contact you so they can get more details on what you're talking about.
Okay, my personal number is 443-392-4. Rev Church number. One more time you broke up. My number to reach me is 443-392-5114. Rev Now, you want to give the church number?
Reverend Ray, you got to do that one more time. For some reason, you're loud and it's breaking up as you're talking.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you might want to back off just a little bit.
Okay. Is that good?
Yeah, try it again.
Yep.
443-392-5114.
Okay, I got it in this case. Go ahead. And then you said, caller, we have another call on the line.
Pardon. How you guys? I'm long time. You doing a fantastic job. Let me say that.
Hello, sir.
And I'm really here to let people know that what we really need is pure talent. You know, the scriptures call about don't waste your talents. And that's what I try not to do. For 35, 40 years, I've been supporting this organization with the talent that God has blessed me with in the financial arena to know how to keep books straight. Both myself and Brother Brian Knight have kept this organization afloat financially through the record keeping and whatnot that we do. And this organization needs people to bring whichever talent you have. You know, nobody has a big talent or a small talent. Nobody has an in-between talent. Everybody has some sort of talent that they can bring to the pot. And if we can get enough talents in one big pot, we can make a hell of a soup. And when that hell of a soup is eaten by the people of our community, who are our youth that we're trying to save from the degradation and the violence and drugs, we will have a meal that will serve all, save all, and be something that all can be proud of. That's all I really wanted to say. I've been trying to get through. The other people were great. I was listening to what they were saying. So all I want to say is keep up the good work. I know Rev Ray will. I used to always relate him to the Energizer Bunny. Has more energy than I do. But I give what I can at the times that I can from the corporations that I've worked for, including my current positions with the state of Maryland. I give whatever time I can to save another youth, to help create the vision. Take the vision and create the entities that need to be done to save our kids. Thank you very much. And he's being modest because he's been with us for 40 years, quietly behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know we do have a legitimate organized board, but now we're coming out publicly And thank you, Urkel, for giving me that invitation. And I talked to John after Sunday. We plan on going to Garaji at WAA, C4 on WAL. And we thank God that we're using our home Kathy Hughes station. And thank Senator Larry Young and Michael Johnson for being one of my behind-the-scenes supporters and trying to keep saving other youth alive. But now we come in full speed ahead. And we're asking for you to join us.
The main thing we want you listeners to do is, as he said, bring your talents. You got to bring your talents to participate with action. So, again, reach out to Willie Ray at 443-392-5114. 443-392. Things to come to fruition, we have to do the work. We have to be able to get out here, roll our sleeves up, go to Zoom calls, make donations, bring resources. Because, like you said, this has been something that everybody knows about. We need to go out here and save the youth. But as Victor Clark said, if you're not bringing your talents and you're not bringing your skills, then it's not going to happen. So, again, make sure you stay connected with us. The Titan Radio Show, we come on every Saturday from 1 to 2. We bring solutions and opportunities. We're glad to have Willie Ray be a sponsor. And the sponsor means that he actually pays for his own custom show to be on here. You, too, can do the same thing because in order for you to have your own voice, you have to create your own platform. So it helps us to help you if you want to be one of those people that create your own platform. Do we have anyone else on the line?
No, that's it.
Okay.
One other thing I want to indicate, don't forget students. We are advocates for students, and we are already, as Urkel know, we already started up at Douglas High. Stop the violence. For those of you, one of our questions I want to come up with, we can't do everything. We can do one thing. And find one youth for one project and start with that. Right now, we get ready to, we're working with the Youth Opportunity Center in Douglas High School. We're asking that one of our themes on our talent show is, if I'm to be, it's up to me. A lot of our youngsters, as Dr. King has said, we need to teach our youngsters how to dream. And you can, let me help you out. You can start in your own neighborhood, your own neighbor. You got a youth just right there in the hood. You need to open up your doors. That's why Reverend Howard is there. We get ready to get the churches to open up their doors when this pandemic quiet down. But you can start is to get in a youth center yourself. Trying to get to Brother Brandon, the man, I'm quite sure he would support it. Ask him for a vacant house. Ask him for support where you can start your own safety house in your own neighborhood. Don't necessarily wait for a politician or a preacher. You have community groups like the Black Lives Matter.
I just had Pastor Karen Jerome is trying to call in. You don't have anyone that's on the line?
No, they need to drop the lines. That's why all the lines are tied up with your guests.
Oh, who else is going besides me? Who else is going?
You still have your other two callers, the two other gentlemen that were with Reverend Ray's organization.
Okay.
Pastor Howard and one just trying.
Okay. So.
Okay. Yes, start your own movement in your own neighborhood.
I wanted to make sure that
your callers. Caller's ready.
Keon Jerome. Hello, Keon.
Yes, speaker.
Hey, I just wanted Willie Ray to know that he had a young pastor from Philly calling in giving support. So where do you think? You got about 2 minutes, 1 minute or so.
Yeah. Really quickly, let me just thank Sister Eartha Harris and Reverend Ray, who have always been on the vanguard of these kind of issues that are completely salient to our community and absolutely important. As a young pastor in West Philly, let me say the importance of what I'm calling the importance of mental health crises in regards to the Black church, particularly with our youth. We're already inundated with high crime rates, high pregnancy rates, single-family households, a parent at the poverty line or below, which are all affecting our mental health as young people. And in addition to that, we have now what I'm calling COVID kids. And there's a whole year of education that many kids in the inner city completely missed because they did not have the technology access to Chromebooks and laptops, and many parents are having to go to work because they are essential workers, leaving their children home. The children are not jumping on Zoom or are completely zoomed out. And so teachers are going to be socially promoting students who are not prepared for the real world and to get to the next grade. And so I'm encouraging churches to open up their houses of worship, to get the counselors, locate the mental health experts in your congregation so that we can begin to have trauma-informed counseling for our young people who have already been inundated with an overwhelming number of unprecedented issues that are affecting them. And now, with everything happening with COVID, it's only gone to the next level. Our mental health matters. Black youth mental health matters. And we've got to continue to do the work.
Oh, wow. Thank you. We need it.
Thank you, Brad.
Pastors are in the house. Yeah. So again,
just remind me of
every third Saturday of the month. Every third Saturday of the month, you can reach them at 443-392-5114. And also, we had one sponsor today, Anthony Thomas. He's an artist. And we know that we are going to pull in our artist community. He has a show on January the 30th. That, again, if we support that show, it will bring some resources to us. If you want to know more about how you can support our artists, you can give me a call, which is 443-655-7198, 443-655-7198. You can also call that number if you want to be a guest or have your business shouted out. And really, Ray, I think we got 1 minute to close up, and then what operator do we get? 158 or what's happening?
You good. I'll give you the 158.
Okay.
Let me thank everybody and remember Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And let me ask you, what are you doing to keep his legacy alive? What are you doing to help youth in the hood? You can't do everything, but you can do something. And I want to end with my brother friend, Richard Drew, who's one of my brothers who's going to come as a young pastor, say some mentors. We call them our mentors, as I have done with the Million Man March, as well as the African American men. And as I said before, glad is a wake-up call for those who are asleep. It is an opportunity for those who are thinking. We want to pray for Joe Biden and Sister Harris, and keep this in mind as they transfer the show. Dr. Martin's birthday is being celebrated. We'll be marching all over the country to remember Dr. King on the day Dr. Joe Biden and Sister Harris was born at. We want to keep them together. Stay focused and keep it moving.
Thank you, Willie Ray. And unfortunately, I didn't get to my co-host. But Ken LaDon does all of our financial literacy. And Malon has the IBA card that if you want to get connected to our network of businesses by just a tap of your phone. So again, you can reach out to me at you can reach out to me at 443-655-7198, 443-655-7198. I appreciate all you guys. Let's stay connected. Let's get this safety house up and running. There's a spot for everybody. As we said, just bring your talents to the table. Yet listen to the Tight Knit Radio Show from WOLB 1010 Baltimore.
Thank you for your diligence.
I'm gonna call you.
All right, sure.